Congratulations on your purchase of SpeechGear's Compadre Instant Translation Suite. Compadre removes the language barrier by instantly translating whatever you say, hear, read, write, or type. Compadre is truly an integrated suite. It starts with the Composer translation engine. You can then add communication modules to this engine, such as the Interact module for instant translation of conversations, the Document module for instant translation of Microsoft Word files or PowerPoint presentations, and there's even a communication module that lets you connect to professional interpreters anytime and anywhere that you have an internet connection. To complete your system, you then select one or more language modules, giving you instant bidirectional translation of over 30 languages. In this video, I'm going to focus on the Interact Communication module, and along the way, I'll also introduce you to the direct and remote language modules, plus the Live Interpreter module. There are additional instructional videos that show you how to use the other modules. These videos can be found by going to www.speechgear.com and clicking on the YouTube icon that is located in the upper right corner of the website. We've got a lot to cover, so let's jump right in and get going. Again, the main focus here is on the Interact module, so let me launch Interact by double-clicking on the icon, and I'll show you how it works. Interact has 5 main pages that are accessed through the icons at the top of your screen. The user page is where all of your user accounts are stored. The Translate page is where you'll see and hear translations of whatever is said, written, or typed. Use the Configure page to store your desired settings for your Interact module. I'll show you how to do this in a few moments. Maybe you've heard the phrase, "a picture is worth 1,000 words"? Well, the Compadre suite is all about communication, so we've put that into practice. The Visualize page allows you to use items like pictures, maps, and video clips with your Compadre system. And in the Help page, you'll find the user guide and additional instructional videos to tell you more about all the features contained in the Compadre suite, especially your Interact Communications module. Let's go over and start with the user page. The user page is where all your user accounts are located. Each user account stores all of your preferred settings. You can have as many user accounts as you like. Typically, you will have one for each person that will be using your system and one for each language pair. I've set up accounts for lots of languages, such as German, Mandarin Chinese, Italian, Finnish, and French. Here's my Spanish user account. To open up a user account, just double-click on the icon and all of your settings are automatically loaded and you're ready to start interacting. When I turn my microphone on, now everything that I say is instantly translated, displayed, and voiced aloud in Spanish.
Ahora todo que digo es traducido instantáneamente, demostrado y expresado en voz alta en español.
And likewise, anything that somebody says in Spanish is going to be instantly translated, displayed, and voiced aloud in English. I'll come back later and show you how to use the Translate page, but let's get back over to the user page and show you how you can create your own user accounts. To create a new user account, simply click on the Add button and Interact will step you through the process. When you're finished with each step, click on the Next button to continue. This is where you enter the name of the new user account. You can use any name that you want. Since I loan out my system to lots of people, I like putting my initials at the beginning of the name so that way I can easily find my accounts. And then I also include a description of how that account gets used. In this case, we'll be creating a user account for speaking Spanish with my coworker Jose, so I'm going to name it RDP-Jose. In this third step, you select the languages that you will be using. Each language module that you've purchased will show up in these drop-down boxes. In this case, I'm going to set up this user account where I'll be speaking English and the second person will be speaking Spanish. In this next step, you tell Interact which voice profiles should be included in your new user account. Interact automatically makes a voice profile for each person and continues to make adjustments as the person is speaking. The more a person talks, the better Interact becomes at understanding what they are saying. Here's a listing of the voice profiles that I have on my system. Since you'll be using your system quite often, you'll want to create your own voice profile. You'll only need to do this one time, and when you do, it'll show up in these lists. Just do it once, and your voice profile can be used in as many other user accounts as you'd like. Likewise, if it's possible for the other person to create their own voice profile, such as our coworker Jose, then have them do that. Otherwise, select the Untrained Voice Profile option. That's what I'll do here. To create your voice profile, simply click on the Add button and Interact steps you through the process. Enter a name for the voice profile, something like your initials. In this case, I'll name the profile JMR. Once you've done that, click on the OK button to continue. In this step, Interact checks to make sure that your computer's microphone is working. Go ahead and click on the setup icon. Interact checks to see which microphones are available and asks which one you want to use. Note that in most situations, that is everything except a quiet office environment, you'll need to use an external microphone. If you do not already have such a microphone, then please visit www.speechgear.com for help in selecting one that meets your needs. From the shown list, select the one that you'll be using and then click on the Next button. Interact continually monitors the volume level of your microphone and automatically makes adjustments for optimal speech recognition. It's still a good idea though whenever you're using Interact to try and hold your microphone in the same position each time. Ideally this is about 1 inch from the corner of your mouth. In this step, Interact is simply checking to see if your microphone is turned on. When you're ready, click on the Start Volume Check button and start reading the text that is displayed in the box. In this step, the computer listens to the sound of your voice and adjusts the volume setting of your microphone. When the computer has finished adjusting the volume, it beeps to signal that the process is complete. If you reach the end of this, the beep lets you know that your microphone is working and that you're ready to move on to the next step. Go ahead and click the Next button to continue. Having a high-quality microphone helps improve the accuracy of your translations. In this step, Interact measures the quality of your microphone to let you know if it's okay. Click the Start Quality Check button and then start talking. In this step, the computer checks the audio input from your sound system. Having high-quality audio input is very important for good speech recognition. Poor audio input will make it difficult or impossible for the program to recognize your speech accurately. When the computer is finished checking the audio quality, it beeps to signal that the test is complete. If you reach the end of your microphone's rating is shown here. You want this number to be as large as possible. Ideally, this number should be at least 20 or above. Now that we've verified that our microphone is working, we're ready to move on to the next step of creating the voice profile. This takes about 5 minutes to complete. Click on the Train button to get started. Interact displays a sentence for you to read. The arrow points to the words that should be read out loud. I'll go ahead and do this right now. Welcome to General Training. Training is about to begin. Now that you've gotten the hang of it by reading the first 2 sentences, you're ready to select a story to read. You can choose any of these stories. In this case, I'll select the first one and start reading. Congratulations on your purchase of Interact. Interact is one of SpeechGear's many products that remove the language barrier by instantly translating whatever you see, hear, say, read, write, or type. In the following paragraphs, you'll learn a bit more about Interact and how to use its many features to communicate with others. Interact instantly translates conversations. I'll pause here to point out a few quick items. If you get stuck on a word, just click on the Skip button. And if you'd like to take a break while reading, click on the Pause button as I just did. I'll go ahead and finish reading this voice profile, but since I'm doing a live recording, I'll stop the recorder while I'm doing that, or otherwise you'd just be watching me read some text for the next 3 minutes or so. Whatever you say is translated and spoken out loud in your selected foreign language, and whatever is spoken in the able to understand a few of your words until it is able to do so. Well, it took me a little over 3 minutes to finish reading the paragraphs. Once you've done that, Interact will show you this message. Clicking OK tells Interact to analyze your voice. Congratulations, you've just finished creating your first user account. Go ahead and click on the Finish button, and this new account will be automatically loaded for you. When I click on the microphone, Interact will use my new voice profile and translate whatever I say into the language we selected, which in this case was Spanish. I just created a new user account.
Acabo de crear una nueva cuenta de usuario.
Now that you've created your first user account, creating additional user accounts takes about 30 seconds. Let's go back to the user page and I'll show you this. Let's say we want to do this for another coworker, in this case Jorge. You once again click on the Add button and follow the steps. Enter the name of this new account, and then select the languages that you want to use. This time, instead of clicking on the Add button to create a voice profile, simply select the voice profile that you just created from the drop-down list. And that's it. Your new account is finished and ready for you to use with Jorge. Creating this new user account took me about 30 seconds.
Crear esta nueva cuenta de usuario me tomó acerca de 30 segundos.
Well, that completes our overview of the user page and the instructions on how to set up a new user account. As a quick review, the user page is where all of your user accounts are stored. Each account remembers all of your preferred settings. Just double click on the account you want to use, and your settings are then automatically loaded and you're ready to start interacting. Remember that you can have as many user accounts as you like. Go ahead and set up an account for each person that will be using your Interact system, plus one for different languages, such as Spanish, Japanese, or Russian. Now that we've covered the user page and setting up new user accounts, let's move on to the Translate page. I'll go ahead and reload that first Spanish user account that we created, and we can start translating. The Translate page is where you'll spend the majority of your time when you're using Interact. This is where the translation happens. There are three boxes: the top, the middle, and the bottom. The top box is for English, the middle box for the second language, which in this case is Spanish, and the bottom box contains a transcript of your conversation. Again, as an English speaker, you'll be using the top and bottom boxes, and the person that's speaking the foreign language will be using the middle box. Note that you can increase the size of these text boxes by either clicking on the maximum size button located at the top here, or by clicking on the edge of the boxes and increasing the size to whatever you prefer. I'll go ahead and do that right now. Interact is designed with a one-click interface. It just takes a single click to tell Interact that you want to translate speech or typing or writing. To translate speech, I click on the microphone, and to translate text or writing, I click on the text box. The same applies for the reverse direction. All it takes is either a single click on the microphone or a single click in the text box. Let's start with instant translation of speech. I'll turn my microphone on by clicking on the icon, and when I do that, now everything that I'm saying is instantly transcribed and translated. The sound meter shows me that my microphone is working. The most recent phrase that I've said appears in the top box, and the bottom box contains an entire transcript of the conversation, which you can save for future reference by clicking on these icons. Later, I'll show you how to use the auto-translate feature, where you no longer need to click this button. I'll turn off the microphone again so I can show you more features. The transcript of your conversation also includes a synchronized voice recording of the person that was speaking. This way, in addition to reading the transcript, you can also hear a recording of what the person was saying at the time the transcript was generated. To do this, simply select the portion of the transcript that you want to hear, and then click on your right mouse button. And the bottom box contains an entire transcript of the conversation, which you can save for future reference by clicking on these icons. Later, I'll show you how to use the auto-translate feature, where you no longer need to click this button. So again, to hear a voice recording of the person that was speaking, first select the portion of the transcript that you're interested in hearing, and then click your right mouse button and you'll hear the recording.